topics brought up by speakers. Professional decorum is expected at all times. If any time there are any violations of the rules of decorum, the chair reserves the right to recess or end the session. Is there anyone here for public comment? Anyone here for public comment? Anyone here for public comment? All right. There being no one, we're going to move into our program review. We have Ms. Maria Menz and Ms. Gibbs here for QComp review of 2025-2026.
Good evening. Thank you again for having us annually at the June meeting. I am Megan Gibbs. I am the district QComp advisor.
And I'm Maria Menz, QComp advisor for the district and health and PE in the high school.
Just our leadership roles. In other leadership roles at the high school, we have Rachel Holmes and Margie Miller, Jessica Banker at the intermediate school, as well as representing the preschool, and then Meredith Wico at the elementary.
Our cycles, I won't read verbatim for each one, but the preschool elementary went with the math goal to increase from 78.84 to 79.34. Intermediate went with also a math goal, 86.1% increasing to 86.6. And then the high school went with reading and increase. The goal was to get 86.56 up to 87.06.
And so here are the results of those goals. The preschool elementary did meet their goal with a score of 79.4%. The intermediate and the high school did not meet their goals. They fell short. The intermediate was at 83.1% of that math goal, and the high school was at 83.7% of that high school or that reading goal.
The district goal was on math as well, and the goal was met at 84.63%. And I'm sorry. Oh, shut off everything but my watch. The last day we were going to test was the day that we had no school for cybersecurity attacks. So that was really
was a challenge.
It was a challenge to get those kids, because when with math in the high school, you could have 9th through 12th in one class. And so you can't test a whole class together. And so to hand pick, and we were down to the finals day.
Yes.
Asking kids, like, do you have a final next hour? Could you take this math? I mean,
trying to figure out, because we had to have them taking it in the labs. They could not take it on, obviously, their devices. So when we saw that, Monica told us the final score, we were like, it's a miracle.
That was worked real hard.
We didn't know if we were going to get everybody tested. So
yeah. So anyways,
high school, or the highlights from each of the buildings, preschool highlights, they worked on enhancing daily language instruction, working through integrating play-based strategies for letter recognition and early literacy. They noted that their collaboration time is very valuable at PLCs because they have differing schedules. So it's really their only opportunity to get together and have that collaboration. TSG, which is Teaching Strategy Gold, their assessment, data analysis identifies students' strengths and weaknesses, allowing them to adjust their teaching.
Some highlights from the elementary. The cycle switched to a math focus. There was new curriculum. Is that right, Rachel? Yeah. Language arts continues to be a focus through the letters training with that group. PLC topics centered around reviewing updated math standards, previewing the resources for the new curriculum, and then anxiety and mental health. Next year, the focus is to continue with math and then dive into the teaching the new curriculum, actually.
In the intermediate, DIS shifted the 2025-26 cycle to math, but continued to maintain a focus on language arts. They had teachers finishing up the letters portion of the REDAC training And then teachers from really 4, 5, and 6 to beginning the Strive training, which is the secondary kind of approach to the science of reading training. PLC topics included analysis of Common Lit assessments. Common Lit is a curriculum that we have 5 through 12 that is really reading based, but can tie in some of those other core areas like social studies and science. And so it's an online program that they use to kind of compare against other summative assessments. Analyzing, aligning, and implementing new math curriculum with the state standards, ensuring common assessments and instructional units, as well as working on student self-esteem, confidence, resilience, and strengthening that family-school partnership.
Okay, in the high school, we did a reading cycle, and that was it reading last year?
Mm-hmm.
And we met all of our goals last year, and so those numbers, we crushed them. So we knew that that was going to be a tough goal to meet, but we chose to do that since math was implementing a new curriculum.
And we had like a core of brand new teachers. So.
Yes, and so that's why we did go with math for the district goal. But anyway, PLC topics for the high school this year was student self-reflection and self-assessment. Enhancing the student writing across subjects using the writing rope as a framework, implementing new strategies and approaches outlined by the new curriculum with state standards, focusing on literacy and conceptual understanding, and focus on sustained concentration during reading, which Megan can allude to, that being an ongoing
challenge.
Battle.
And then district-wide, so we kind of just finished up another year of looking at the observation rubric that we worked with TD&E. This was kind of a pilot year, working through that, and then bringing feedback to the TD&E committee to modify and update that observation rubric. And then also, we increased the number of work sessions. Just teachers really appreciate that time to collaborate, to continue working on initiatives. And so we were able to kind of increase the opportunities. We worked with the elementary actually had requested possibly offering a morning session, and Meredith was gracious enough to come in early and facilitate that. So it just continues to be an opportunity for teachers. Always say, what do we need is time. So we give them that time to continue to work on those initiatives.
Looking ahead to next year, we're going to continue to focus on math and literacy. 4 through 12 ELA science of reading training through Strive. This will be year 2 of 2?
So we started, those teachers that are in this phase 2 is what we call it, started in March. And so that will continue again all of next year.
Deeper understanding and application of the updated observation rubric, which, Katie, are you meeting before school starts with TD&E to make any changes prior to?
We'll do present to the board in session in August,
Okay.
updates, and then.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. Sounds good. High school will be implementing secondary lead LPC groups. PLC groups. Sorry. Our groups in the high school are primarily subject based, but our secondary groups we're going to have grade level based, so we can kind of have that different conversation as they see the same kids more so. So that's going to happen once a month. That's something that'll be new. And then Megan and I each year train the new staff on our observation process, but it's been a while since our
Entire staff.
has been trained. So we are going to kind of do a train the trainer and facilitate that through our PLC groups.
Especially with the observation then rubric being updated and just having a deeper understanding of some of those changes that were made.
Just a refresher. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Any questions?
From a board's perspective on that, on the new teacher evaluation, we just changed enough of it that it requires now per statute, board approval and union vote. So we're going to bring it, I believe we're work sessioning it in July or
She said
August.
August.
August work session, board approval in September, along with a vote coinciding with that.
Got it. Any other questions for Maria and Meg? Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciated all the work that goes into it. I know you two spearhead a lot of this, so thank you. Next on the agenda is our consent agenda. This section of the agenda has a variety of standard reports related to minutes or financial reports for the previous month. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Rachel first, second by Ryan. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. The next item on the agenda is the resolution for the acceptance of gifts. Quite a list this month, which is great. The following organizations have generously donated for the items listed below. The Charities Aid Foundation, $66 for Delano Elementary. Delano Elementary Pie, $2,445 for the second grade field trip. Delano Intermediate Pie, $228.62 for the Brain Freeze Break. Delano Area Council, $246.36 for Delano Intermediate School Band. D-Pie, $300 for Battle of the Books. DHS Pie, $197.41 for the Forum Transportation. Crown Plastics, $800 for the Senior Breakfast. Delano Tiger Athletics Booster Club, $24,880 for football supply overages. Boys Hockey Booster Club, $2,113.06 for skate sharpener and state food reimbursement. Delano Rage Lacrosse, $11,950 for lacrosse practice wall. Gymnastics Booster Club, $4,644.27 for the mat, board, and march in items reimbursements. Soccer Booster Club, $259.24 for girls soccer supply overages. Delano Tiger Athletics Booster Club, $3,087.10 for dance expenses reimbursement. Delano Tiger Activity or Athletics Booster Club, $357.03 for girls lacrosse reimbursement. Drama Boosters, $1,000 for the spring musical accompanist, and Coburn's $250 for the Delano Archery Program. Again, all of these organizations have generously donated for the items listed above, and we are extremely grateful for that. Do I have a motion to approve?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So on the football there, what are supply overages? Does that mean?
So that's if they bought a bunch of stuff, which they did, and I don't off the top of my head remember what it was. All that runs through Julie Strobel, but she keeps track. So they get so much of a budget every year, but this didn't even cover everything that they have already paid for that needs to be reimbursed, whether it was extra, they buy the balls with the special decals and all that kind of stuff, different jerseys, all that stuff runs through the school district. And then they Julie Strobel turns around and bills the different booster clubs to get reimbursed for anything over their small supply budgets that they're allocated.
So the overages means they overspent what the district would allocate it, and you got the booster club has to reimburse.
Is that all with checks and balances and stuff? Or are they they're not making errors?
No. They've agreed to, we know you're going to go over budget, the boosters are going to make it.
Well, they have their own booster club account. So like each program knows how much money they have in their booster club account.
And I assume that has to do with some of that safety gear that they had to buy, new helmets, new pads, all that stuff.
They didn't have to
Well,
buy,
if it was,
They didn't buy that stuff.
No.
all seasons bought the helmets, now they
So-
rent them, if I remember right.
Yep, I
Yeah.
think that was the process, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, this is just.
And I guess the reason I ask is, we don't have to solve this today, but there was discussion about the fees for sports that have higher expenditures being higher. And, look, people that are running cross country are paying the same fees as people that are playing football and other things, and it's not all that even.
But not the same as hockey, right?
Yeah,
Like-
that's a whole different discussion, of course. But
Okay,
That's still probably yet to come. Hockey's already done it.
Yeah.
Football's probably going to be next to try to take a good look at if these requirements, they came up with a creative solution of the renting of the helmets, which was a way better cost of it. If you remember a few years back, we were like, this is going to be a huge amount of money.
yeah,
Because all these helmets are illegal now and they got to be legal. So they've gotten to be creative to stem that for a while.
This is their own money they fundraise to cover their own expenses.
you're telling me that the football team fundraised this in and of
It's from their
themselves?
own booster
They
club,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Each one has their own separate account that their fundraisers go to within the booster club. We actually, the only reason I know is because we just are in the process of moving girls basketball off of our youth program into the booster club like all of the rest of them do. And they actually they will take the money from our account for them and it will go into their specific earmarked account within the Delano Tiger Athletic Booster Club. So that individual program has somehow come up with that much money. It's not like stealing from a pool, if you will, that they need
Yeah.
more than
Rest
cross
of the business
country
is-
or whatever else. It's
Yeah, we should, maybe this should be more clear on that then, because it looks like it's coming out of the main fund.
Well, when we get a check, it just says Delano Athletic Booster Club. But then by telling you that it's for football, I think, because it's all under just Delano Athletic Booster Club, how they've got it separated is their deal. But yeah, the checks, it's just one organization. They're the 501c3, but then they kind of split it out underneath them, but they're not individual accounts. It's still just Tiger, it's DTABC. But then by looking at what is being funded for that tells you which sport is that they're sending the check for. Does that make sense?
It totally does. I'm just talking about the kind of public relations side of it, that the cross-country team needs this much money and other teams need that much money. And if they're doing their own fundraising, then we should maybe try to represent bigger numbers like this when we're facing the public to avoid a conversation about it.
Yep. And
That's my only point.
yeah, and
You're doing it right. I get it.
okay.
I totally
Yeah,
get it.
and by the time we see this, it's already a done deal. So it's whatever's happening in the activities office is how it's being approved ahead of time.
We could definitely look at it though, Cory. I
Yeah.
do get that. We want to make sure that everything is on the up and up as far as, do we have to have a broader discussion of how budgetary allocations are happening based on cross country versus football or then, but the difficulty is that boosters are out their own entity and they fundraise.
Really, yeah,
Right.
that's a good point.
We don't have any control. And if the coach says, well, here are my needs, the booster's like, we'll take care of this.
Yes.
We're like, okay.
the coaches are pretty adamant though, like the ones who are, let's just say you were a cross country coach and you were part of the boosters. If you were fundraising, none of that money, they're very quick to leave. Like they don't have to be part of the boosters. And by being part of the boosters, they agree to, basically separate your money, even if it's not a different account, right? It's tracked to know this money was raised by so-and-so. And it's the same when they have a booster paid coach for $5,000 or whatever it is. Comes out of their specific earmarked money that they raised.
Right.
But it's probably just general education. I don't know, maybe the booster club could come and tell us about it one time, or have somebody give us a 10-minute spiel so we could be better. We could talk to it better too if asked.
Like, is the budget allocated equally and how is that set up?
All of that.
Yeah. I like that idea, Ryan.
Yeah. Future agenda.
Seems to me when I learned about it from the basketball thing, so.
All right. Any other, do we have a motion
Oh,
for?
yeah. I'll make the motion.
Okay, thanks, Cory. First, we have a first, we have a second.
Second.
All right, second by Baker. This is a roll call vote.
Board Member Schaust?
Aye.
Board Member Baker?
Aye.
Board Member Morila? Aye.
Board Member Deppa. Board Member Gerke. Board Member Black. And Board Member Roser.
All right, the resolution passes. Next item on the agenda is our personnel report. There is quite a big list. I don't know, Matt, if there's anything other than normal summer hiring.
Yeah, pretty standard for the retirements, resignations, and things. The recommendation for employment is a lot of summer coaches, community ed programming. It's just that time of the year. June is always pretty robust in preparation for summer hires.
Couple minor things I know on one, Mary just mentioned it's her last meeting, so I know we've mentioned this before, but thank you for all you've done, and we appreciate that. I know you're sticking around a little bit, and Scott, we look forward to working with you more. The other pieces, and I know he's not here, but this would have been Barry's last meeting, and as the board, we just wanted to say we thank him for all of his work that he's done over the time that he's been here at Delano, and we wish him all the best in the future. With that, do I have a motion to approve the personnel agenda or personnel matters report? Deppa first, second? Second by Ryan. Do we have any other discussion besides what I've mentioned? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The personnel report is passed. Next up, administrative reports. First up, our superintendent, Matt Shane.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board. And I would like to pass on a tremendous amount of thanks to Mary. I know this is Mary's last official school board meeting, but since the cyber incident and since we were a little delayed with, it was a perfect storm in the business office. We had a couple of key positions that just weren't filled and just wasn't working well. And Mary and Matt had a conversation in my office, and Mary graciously said, listen, I'll stick around. And so we've got a transition plan. She's retiring, but it's going to be in a gradual release model.
How many years is she going to stick around?
I was thinking months.
It started as weeks, it
As
got to
needed,
months.
there you go.
So we negotiated. So with much appreciation there, and we look forward to Scott continuing his transition into his position. Okay. My report that I would like to just give today, thank you for the opportunity for the superintendent to give an update to the board. Obviously, we always do everything, and all the work that we do is aligned with our district mission and vision with regards to the core values of the 5 areas and pillars of our vision. It is also the values of a tiger. These drive our words and actions in excellence, teamwork, belonging, and grit. We want to make sure that we are aligned and continue to do that. The board did some heavy lifting well over a year ago already. So that does guide our work and creates the pathway and the vision for that. I would like to update the board and the rest of the community on our community education building update. The facilities committee will hold its 4th meeting out of 5 on Thursday, June 25th at the community ed building. Our agenda items include establishment of needs of the building. What are the needs for the future facility needs of the community ed building? We're going to create that criteria to meet the established needs. And then we're going to start to develop consensus statements and evaluation criteria to be utilized for various solution options. So how large is it going to be? What type of things are going to be in it? Is there going to be a kitchen? Is there going to be all sorts of other areas, indoor, outdoor playground, parking, safety, all of those things? We'll start creating those statements to make sure that we can evaluate needs and creating the criteria for the building. The strategic plan vision card update. We talked a little bit about this during the work session, but our measurements are in 5 levels, and they score from in that area from intervention to high concern to baseline to progressing. And then obviously we always want to shoot for level 5, which is the vision of what we do for the work for the year. The 5 main areas of measurement were achievement, graduation, desired daily experience statements, and then I'll go on to the next page. I'm going to hold with the board on achievement until we have all of the results that will be available in August. So you'll probably see maybe in August, September, achievement update. Graduation, which is weighted at 10%. of the work that we did within our 3-year strategic plan. This is the percent of students graduating in 4 years using the 9th grade cohort model, which means when you start in 9th grade, you go through our building in our school, what does it look like? All students received a 5.0. The subgroup, when you broke it down into subgroups of students, we have a few students that still ran a little short. So we're working on that. But overall, very well. We perform historically very well with our graduating class. With regards to our desired daily experience statements, we have about a 25% weight of the work that we do. That's the percent of agreement of the DDE statements taken from the district climate survey. Students, staff, and families, we averaged out to about 2.9, which is just at the very high end of a high concern, but just under the baseline level. So we're going to take a deeper dive in our retreat in August to drive our action cards of how we can then have an increased improvement area of the DDE statements with the 3 stakeholders. The initiative implementation, which is weighted at 20%. Initiative implementation score on key initiatives using fidelity of implementation assessments. Examples is our MTSS, the READ Act, that's the letters training, the STRIVE training, what you saw and what's happening in preschool on up throughout the entire district. District and building action cards are there in our emergency management. How are we performing with our protocols and our standard response measures? Our baseline level there, 3.8. So that's pretty good. That's closing in on progressing. So we're doing pretty well there. Operational measures, which is weighted at about 15%. This is the percent complete of all operational measures. Examples would be our financial health, our operational efficiency, human resources, student enrollment, and demographics. And we showed you a little bit about how that is measured. And we scored again 3.8%, which is baseline level, but getting into that area of progressing as well. Our composite score without achievement, because we don't have the complete data there, is 2.5 out of 3.5. But more importantly, what does that mean? Well, when you take a deeper dive into the vision card, we're able to establish some actionable items that we need to address in next year's action card as a part of year 2 of the strategic plan. We're also able to celebrate things that we did really well, including some of the statements that were measured and what people want in their experience when they come to the schools as a student, as a parent, or work in the buildings as staff members. But we just want to keep track of everything, and it's a good measurable tool. It takes a while to go through it and to digest it. For our first year, I think overall, we're doing pretty well. It'll be very interesting to see what achievement comes with, because that's actually the largest weight of our work for obvious reasons. Any questions for the superintendent?
I have one question just because I didn't call it out in the work session, but on that question about graduation or whatever it was, how can all students be 100% and then you're telling me subgroups are less than 100? What does that mean?
No, 5.0 doesn't mean 100%.
Okay.
The rubric is 95 to 100%.
Okay.
So we landed with all students in that rubric
Gotcha.
of 5.0. 4.7 still within that same level,
Gotcha.
but it was just a couple of students short.
Gotcha.
Good clarifying question. Okay.
Thank you. Next up, Ms. Schultz. Looking with the new spring.
Wait, just a minute. Sorry, no, you can sit down, please. Question there. Every year, staff are recognized for their years of service. And it's kind of interesting because board members, your years of service really is on the calendar year. So actually, Jim Gerke has served over now 5 years as a school board member. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Seems like 10.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
In the office.
Great job.
There's a few board members that have those certificates at the table.
You have
James.
I've got 5. I can't remember.
You got it, 5.
I got 5. You got 5. All right, next up, Ms. Schultz.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me on behalf of the elementary school. We had a successful and fun end to the school year. So I have just a few updates for you as we wrap up. The last time I presented, we had already had our last site-based leadership team meeting, but just sort of looking ahead for what we will work on next year to kind of tackle the beginning of the year. We will review the site results that were specific to the desired daily experiences because we can break those down based on school. Obviously, it's a collective effort for the district, but there's certain things that we're just building specific that we know that we can kind of look at and refine and celebrate as well. We will be developing and reviewing our action steps for our action cards. I don't foresee right now a whole lot of new action cards per se because they're pretty hefty on their own. And so there's lots of different action steps within. So we're in a good spot for how we kind of wrapped up the year, meeting a lot of those initial action steps. And then specifically, I just wanted to share the final data from our SEL action card, action card. From December to May of 2025, we had 268 offenses, which is sort of our minor incidents. And we were really trying to work on decreasing that. And from December to May of 2026, we were at 152 offenses. So a 43% decrease in those behavior incidents. So that we felt it in the building. And it was exciting to see the work kind of come to fruition in those results. So that's what we'll focus on for next year. I also wanted to update the group on some of our achievement data that I shared last month. I had shared some of those pie graphs, and then I know, Ms. Steppa, you had a question kind of like, well, what is really the average kind of increase in surrounding districts? So I went back and met with Lindsay Westfall and Monica Kunkel, and what we learned is that the thresholds in EduClimber were not updated to match the spring benchmarks. So there was an increase in our kindergarten and first grade. So kindergarten went from 30% in winter to 50% in spring. And what I had shared with you initially was that it was 30 to 30, so little to no increase. So there was an increase there. That was just sort of a technical difficulty getting familiar with EduClimber. And then first grade, it was at 61%. So better news, that was that I learned. But also the typical proficiency levels for kindergarten and first grade range from 45 to 65%. So I feel like we're sitting pretty well because really the ultimate goal is to have them reading by the end of third grade. So foundationally, it is just going to be kind of a slower pace as they gather some of those initial skills. So in theory, it would be great to have our kindergartners ending towards that 60% and first grade closer to that 65%. So we get closer to that 80% by the time that they're in third grade. But I just wanted to share that update with you. And then Lindsay Westfall and Meredith Wico attended the MTSS Compass Institute retreat, and they were able to see district-wide, statewide comparative data. And Delano sits about 15 to 20% higher than the state on all of our initial reading assessments. So we'll have that data now moving forward so we can really look at some good trends. And they break it down into those same areas that we are looking at through EduClimber as well. So we're excited about that we'll have that to analyze as well. And then as you heard from QComp, the elementary school met our goal, and then the district goal was met as well. So we were able to celebrate that within our school at the end of the year. I also wanted to give a congratulations to Rose Nichols on her retirement as a para. We celebrated her. Matt and Bobby came up. We got a picture with her. And then we had some ESSA, Leah, and Teacher of the Year recipients, Wendy Scanlon, Janelle Olson, and Teresa Swan. We had a great end of the year breakfast. That was wonderful. And the Delano Education Foundation provided that breakfast. There was a great turnout, I felt, this year. And then it was just a really, really nice way to recognize people that are retiring. Mary Reader is one of them. I'll miss you very much. And then some of the other teachers within the district. So it was a really, really great way to celebrate those teachers and staff members. Looking ahead to next year, we are going to focus on developing our win time expectations, our math implementation of the new curriculum. And then we have we're adjusting and finalizing our PD plans for our early releases as well. Summer school begins and ESY begin on July 6th, so we're preparing for that. As of now, we are fully staffed at the elementary, looking ahead to next year, so hoping that sticks. And then I'm looking forward to working with our new leadership team members, Scott, Kate, and Cindy as well. Any questions for the elementary?
When we last met, your kindergarten numbers, I think were they at 161? Is that right?
No, they would have been at 150,
Okay, where are we now?
151.
Okay, so it's established. Okay. So it's a small.
We had 2 that decided not to enroll, so there we go. But yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you for that update.
Yes, you're welcome. Anything else? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The intermediate school.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Thank you for having me this evening as a representative of the intermediate school. I have a short report for you as we wrapped up our 25-26 school year. I'll start by sharing our plans for our site-based leadership team. Like Ms. Schultz shared, we are also looking forward to our August retreat day. All of the building site-based teams schedule our retreat days for August. So we'll also be reviewing our progress from last year on our goals, the work that we did. We'll look at our action cards from last year. I'm really excited to kind of roll out EduClimber to our staff kind of school-wide, and we'll use that at our retreat and start really using that to look at data and make some decisions on our achievement data with our site-based team. We'll also be looking at those DDE surveys and breaking them down by building, specifically looking at kind of where our staff are at, and then also our student feedback. Our students did take the student survey for the DDEs and had some really interesting feedback and some fun comments, so we'll take a look at that as well. Student belonging and well-being has been a focus for us last year, so that'll give us some good insight moving forward and where we want to go with that. And then we'll also take a look at the district vision card that Matt shared with you guys today as well to help us set some good goals for next year. Briefly for MTSS, I don't need to share too much about our Q-Comp goals. Megan and Maria did a nice job going over that, but we had a Q-Comp goal this year for math. We did not meet our goal. Our goal was to increase from 86.1 from last spring to 86.6 this spring. So we scored this spring at 83% low risk or college pathways. It's tricky when it's a spring to spring goal. You're not looking at the same group of kids. If you look at the same group of kids from fall to spring this year, we did increase by 2%. So we went from 81% to 83%. But that's not how they look at their Q-Comp goal, which is fine. I think that math in general is going to be a really big area of focus for us next year. We implemented, as you know, our new Reveal curriculum in 6th grade only this year. Next year, we'll be implementing it building wide. It will be new for 4th grade and 5th grade. So we're anticipating just a lot of time invested in supporting our teachers and our students in that implementation. So that's going to be a big focus for us again next year. I also would like to congratulate our Leah and ESSA winners. So Heidi O'Donnell won for our Leah Award, and then Judy Reed was our ESSA Award winner. So great staff members at the intermediate school. In terms of our summer updates, I am not as lucky as Ms. Schultz. I'm not fully staffed. I'm looking for a long-term sub for a special education teacher, a behavior teacher, and also a para. But otherwise, we're just working on kind of cleaning up the school, doing our schedules, and I always like to recognize our staff that do work through the summer. So Mike and his custodial staff, Joe is really busy this summer on our computers, among other things, and then always Mel, Megan, and Greg in our office getting schedules ready and helping families as they join our school. So, and then I just want to end by always thanking you guys for your support of me and my work as a principal, and I always feel so fortunate and blessed to be where I am, so I thank you for that. And with that, any questions for me at the intermediate school?
Question for her, but out of curiosity, like when we do the Q-Comp goals, why do we do them that way? That feels like somewhat misleading, because I was sitting there kind of thinking to myself, like 86 something back to 83, and then I think it was the high school was like 87 back to 83. It feels like you have a group going backwards, and to your point, you actually don't have a group going backwards. You're just measuring an apple and an orange and trying to make them the same. Like, why do we do our Q-Comp goal that way?
Mainly required, we have confines through the state,
Okay, so they love apples and oranges comparison.
like a tossed salad.
Maybe could we ask our Q-Comp people to give us that data point so we can like feel just like I don't know, it makes me,
feel a little bit better.
makes me feel a hell of a lot better when she's like, they went up 2% year over year, not backwards 3.5%, where it's talking about completely different kids.
It's two different cohorts of students. And over the years, even back when I was principal, I actually had there for about 2 or 3 years, we measured 8th grade to 10th grade reading. Same students. So we took them when they were 8th graders, all the students, and we have a high percentage of students that are the same.
Yep.
So we had to have like 85 or 90% of the students had to be the same cohort. We got permission to do that. And then we said, now we're talking about the same group of students, and we measured them this was back in the MCA days. We took the MCA reading in 8th grade, and then they took the MCA reading in 10th grade, and we set a step. They did this in 8th grade. What was the measured increase that we could do for 10th grade?
Makes a ton of sense.
And then we decided, obviously, to go in a different direction with assessments, and the state then no longer allowed us to do that. So
Yeah.
we had a good apples to apples run there for back in the day.
With a grain of salt, but
We don't, good to know. I mean, I would have left here feeling like, not like we had an issue, but like we had some kind of challenging year, and it turns out we didn't, maybe. So,
yeah, they did all right.
okay.
I think
Last year going into the summer, I think my timelines might be off a little bit, but there was some construction around making some room accommodations. How did that go?
great. It was really, really helpful. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, thank you for supporting that work. Made a huge difference for special ed kids and the needs that they had in that room. So yeah.
Do you feel like the space is sufficient now and
Yeah.
needs are being met all around?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a different, I think, population coming in. I think there's some unique needs coming in now. Again, every year looks so different, depends on the kids. But just having more options for space. In general, our special ed room used to be just very open. The changes we made last summer gave us more options. It kind of broke it down into smaller spaces with some doors and things like that. So it just gives us options and some flexibility. In terms of space overall, it can still be challenging, but it just changes every year. Depends on the kids we have. So yeah, it's working a lot better now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I am here to read in proxy for Mr. Voigt. And there's a lot of names in here, so hopefully I pronounce every single one of them correctly, but bear with me. So, Mr. Voigt, good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Please accept this report as my final update to the board on behalf of Delano High School. We have had a successful end to the school year despite the struggles resulting from the cyber incident in May. On behalf of the entire DHS staff, a sincere appreciation goes out to Jackson's Gross Kreitz. I knew I was going to get it wrong. Nick Bain, Joe Hitchings, their work in mitigating the impacts, troubleshooting workarounds, and sustaining our classroom efforts to the best of their abilities given the circumstances. And that was quite the journey we had, and still are on, by the way. As the spring sports season's wrapped up, we had another successful season. Congratulations to the girls' track team, who had another outstanding season after placing 4th at the Minnesota True Team State Championships. They had even more success at the State High School Track Championships. Maya Warner placed 3rd in the 3,200 meter. Sienna Claire placed 6th in the long jump. Evelyn Oberling placed 6th at the 100 meter hurdles. Anna Lamaker placed 5th in the 100 meters. Maya Warner, 5th in the 1,600 meters girls 4x800 meter relay, and took 4th, matching the 4th place earned by the girls 4x100 meter relay. Girls softball had Sydney Pink recognized as the first team All-State, Reese Stauman, and second team Sydney Connor and Bryn Kruger as All-State honorable mentions. The baseball team also had an amazing end of the season, winning the section championship after beating Orono not once, but twice consecutively, moving on to a successful run into the state tournament. Academically, DHS students had a tremendously successful year as well. Over 20,000 grades were earned throughout the year, Over 95% of them were at a C- or higher, and only 1.4%, total of 289, were unsatisfactory or failing grades across all grade levels in the high school. And considering credit-bearing classes, that is, students in 9 through 12, only 99 courses resulted in failing grades. That's 0.8%. A comparison between DHS courses and PSEO courses shows that while the number of proficient grades is consistent at around 94%, 3% of the grades earned through PSEO, a total of 17 were failing grades. It is important that we continue to advertise these results, and our counselors have been coached to review this information with our prospective PSEO students, because this data shows that our teachers have a significant impact on helping our students cross the finish line. This is significant because an F on a college transcript can have significant impacts on a student's ability to not only graduate high school, but to further pursue their post-secondary ambitions. The bottom line is that for the past 6 years, 100% of students that attend Delano High School courses throughout the duration of their 9-12 career graduate on time. I wish the staff and students across Delano schools my best wishes as they continue the noble work of shaping our future. Respectfully, Mr. Voigt. And last but not least, before we move on to the directors, I do have one unfinished piece of business. It has been a tradition, mostly with our student school board representatives, but when a person that serves in a capacity with the board, oh man, I'm not going that way.
He's not jumping.
Trumpet.
Now that Mary is retiring, we're going to give her nameplate. How about that?
Yay.
You're officially been presented with your nameplate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, board.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you,
Right
Mary.
on the hood of your car with pride.
That's so fun.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the directors. So Ms. Mary Reeder and Mr. Scott Lesage.
Scott's actually prepared this, so he's going to take it from here.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you, members of the board. We'll go over this just kind of quickly, like Mary's done in the past. As you can see, it's up here.
Oh, not yet.
I mean, 2 thumbs over here. And
It was with the difference attorney, I swear. All right, where are we at here?
Board meeting.
Financial report,
Yeah,
right here.
yes.
There we go.
All right, so if we want to go to page 2, obviously for this board meeting, but I'll just go over a few things. As you can see, Mary's always put together the year-over-year comparison, which is a great indicator on a macro level, just to make sure we're trending in the right direction.
Here, I got a better way to do this.
You're just trying to make it really hard for me.
Bringing the rookie in real cat here. How about this
We
one?
blame Matt, don't worry.
There we go. Whoops. There.
All right, so as I mentioned, just going year over year, which is a good indicator. You can really count on that for a lot of like the salaries and benefits, even kind of purchase services, supplies, materials, capital expenditures, and other expenditures. They can vary quite significantly, right? Because it depends on timing of purchases. Another thing to note too is that just like with accounting, it's always about timing. So when things get recorded, when the bank recs get done, when everything comes in. So there can be some variation, but that's why we do these on a monthly basis and do year over year comparatives. Nothing else to point out on that one. And this is just looking at our other funds. That page we just looked at was the general fund. So now we switch over to Fund 2, food service, community service, and debt service. All of these look pretty close in line with what they've been historically. And like I said, if they are off, it could be timing of when things are recorded this month. So
Yeah, I was a little late this month on getting my bank statement done.
I don't know. You're doing a payroll every week this month.
I know, it's been a little nuts.
all right. And then if you want to go down, these are graphs that Mary has kept in here in the past. It just gives the school board a good idea of where the expenditures kind of line up on an annual basis, just so you can feel for where those land. All right, next page. And then finally, the FY26 audit is scheduled, and it's planned for August 12th through the 16th. And I also want to thank Mary, because I probably will be reaching out to her quite a bit. And that has to do with the next bullet point. The team is continuing to work to create all of the business office related documents and information that was lost in the cyber event. So that will be a big lift, but we'll get there. And I guess I will get to learn from ground up, so I won't have work papers from the past. So thank you in advance for your patience and understanding. And thank you, Mary, for your continued help.
Yes, I finally stopped crying, but it's okay.
Does she at least know what's missing?
Not yet.
Not all.
Well,
Pretty
it's,
much.
all
Your
of my stuff was on a server, so yes, it's all gone. Some of the stuff I had emailed, like some of my negotiation spreadsheets I had emailed out. So I have those to recreate, but my 16 years of data is gone. So
How many
That's
of
one
those do
hell
you
of
have
a
to recreate?
retirement, Mary. I'm gonna take you
No.
all and go home.
it's like, this was one experience I don't think I needed, but we got it anyway.
Yeah, you can say you've done it all.
Yeah, so
And
anyway,
you've done it twice.
we will be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna take a little time. So just be patient, please. There we go.
You have an ETC of when you're going to know what documents you have to restore or how many?
You know, we know the ones that are important that we want, he'll need going forward. So, you know, HR is working on some of her things already. You know, my staffing plan is massive. I've never shared that with anyone, so that's a huge lift. But like my teacher's negotiation spreadsheet, that's also massive. I sent the base to Nate Peterson the last time we negotiated, so I'll use that as my basis to create the one that they're going to need a year from now. So it's just, you know, all my homeschool, all my non-public stuff, everything is gone. So.
We're working with a data reclamation company. I just signed that agreement this morning. So anything that they can get back, we've been working with a third-party vendor to try to reclaim as much data as. And eventually, these bad, evil human beings will publish the data. So we could potentially get some back that way. But again, it takes some.
But my
They
stuff
publish it on our
wasn't
drive.
stolen, it was just encrypted. So, yeah, my stuff wasn't stolen, it was just encrypted. So whatever the data recovery people, if they're able to get back something, that's the only way we'll get my stuff back. And the HR stuff, so.
And I know you've thought of this, not a suggestion, I'm just curious, like, could you get some stuff back from like Ehlers and stuff like that on audit interact?
Oh, I have all my audits. We're golden on the audit because I've been doing, since COVID, we've been doing all virtual. So I upload everything. So I've already pulled down all of the documents from last year, all my spreadsheets and everything. So audit, we're golden. It's just other stuff. So yeah.
She didn't want to.
We had 6 years worth of audit stuff that we got access to. So we're good.
Small wins, we'll take them.
Yep.
All right, next up is Abby Lang, Director of Community Education.
Spirit, I was just thinking.
Come on back.
Hi. Thanks again for having me back.
Mm.
This is a end of my first year. So yeah, a couple weeks and it'll be one in the bag, which has been absolutely fabulous. I mean, super busy, super crazy, but such a good year. So my report is going to be very small because I already got out all the words that you guys probably need to hear tonight. So just give you some of the nitty gritty. Our summer program for TKC is up and running. Those first couple of days were a little wild. Not having Wi-Fi, we just really realized how much we rely on it, even just for attendance purposes. So all of TKC's attendance is done via iPads. And it sounds like a pretty easy thing. We'll just do a paper and pencil, sign them in, sign them out. Well, sign them in, sign them out. What happens if somebody needs to go to an appointment? Sign them in, sign them out. What happens if mom or dad walks by the sign in, sign out? What happens if, there's just a lot of factors that go into it. And so after the first couple of days, we just said, we can't do it. We can't not have internet for attendance, billing purposes, safety purposes, so on and so forth. And so the IT team really pivoted and, over the course of a weekend, set us up with the ability to have 4 iPads running, and it's night and day, especially considering that was a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then that following Monday, we started transportation for community ed activities. So everything we have is tied to that. We know who's going, who's coming back, where they are. It's a big deal to have 250 students and not know 100%. So thank you to the IT team. Thank you for Bobby for making that happen. Mr. Shane for making that happen. That was a big stressor for staff that now is going absolutely fabulous. We have 11 classrooms running from 6:45 to 5:45, Monday through Friday. We have a total of just over 60 staff. We have about 50 that work every day. So at any given over those 11 hours, we have 50 staff that are rotating through with 238 students, 187 kindergarten through grade 6, and 51 age 3 not yet in kindergarten. So spread into 11 classrooms. One of the things that has been pretty exciting is I had mentioned it in my in-depth or my program review that we are putting all of childcare together. And we're putting early childhood together. So the current way that our office is set up is that Becca Cyberlick is the preschool coordinator and then oversees preschool childcare. Rachel Wallace is the TKC coordinator, oversees youth enrichment. We said, you know what, we've lived it. That's awesome. You got to try it. For the long term, we are going to make some adjustments, and we're going to have Becca Cyberlick step out of childcare and take preschool, ECFE screening, create that early childhood coordinator. Rachel Wallace will take all of TKC, all of childcare, be a childcare coordinator. And then we've found our new enrichment champion. Super excited about that. It's a little, we joke around that Becca and Rachel are going through a separation because Becca's slowly backing out and Rachel's slowly taking over. It is absolutely fantastic in the ability to stand back and watch the team operate. Those are some really intense few days when you're training staff, when you're trying to set up operations, when you're trying to get organized, and everybody's stressed and everybody's tired and everybody is a little frazzled. And I see nothing but support coming out of those coordinators and Kim Phillips, our office administrative assistant, and then a couple of our TKC leads. No frustration, no short, nerves, nothing but support. They bob and weave, and it's a fine dance to watch, and it's something that is so super appreciated because then we know when those doors open up at 6:45, everybody is where they need to be. Everybody has the support that they need in place, and these guys are sleeping at night. So I'm so impressed with that, and so I think that's worth mentioning that we've got a really, really good team. One of the changes that we're implementing this summer is we're kind of piloting a building site supervisor. So I talk a lot about, going over and bringing TKC kids and having all of our programs out here at DHS, but you don't really hear about how do we make sure that people are getting to where they need to be? How do we make sure that coaches and instructors have that connection to the school district, know where they're supposed to be, have somebody to answer those questions. So we're implementing a building site supervisor / rec support. Rec support is connecting with those coaches and instructors every day, making sure that they have what they need, making sure that there's some follow-up on the front end, there's follow-up on the back end. There's equipment sorting, take a lap, go outside, go inside. I want to see 14,000 steps a day. Take a lap, go out and see what's going on in the fields and be that representative of community ed saying, hey, I'm here and yes, this is what I'm seeing, or I'm here and I really haven't seen that. So it's just like I said, a pilot project to see what else can we do? What level of support can we provide? Also this building, right? Like I was here today and you've got families that are focusing on, you know, the kid in a program. And so maybe you have a couple of siblings and they're in the hallways, and that's okay. We know that's going to happen. But we want to make sure that they still are being safe and that they're still not hindering custodians who are trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done. And so, like I said, pilot project, but in a school district our size, it's something that is so absolutely needed for customer support, for building protection, so on and so forth. So we have 105 summer programs this summer. 105 of the 250 or 75 that I had just shared, only 11 cancellations so far. That's a lot. That's a 10%. That means we're doing it. There's a lot of kids, a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of instructors coming through our doors. So, and that is not including all of our facility rentals and our groups, our associations, our people on the fields. This is in addition to. So it's a busy campus for a quick, like, 75-day turnaround. And then super exciting, we had today, I'd mentioned earlier, the very first Tiger Swim mini camp start. We have 1 in June and 3 in July, and we have 93 of the 96 open slots filled. So great first start. We would offer a whole bunch more, but we have 2 trained instructors right now that are doing hands-on training with these mini camps. We price them so that they were very affordable for families, kind of cover our need, but really get kids back in the water, get them learning, get them having fun, but really also give those new teachers the ability to do some real good hands-on training. Excuse me, in August or September, excuse me, air is tough. We're hoping to start our leveled swim lessons on Sunday afternoons. So to do that, we want to hit the ground running. We're hoping to add a few more instructors for some more additional hands-on training this summer. Any questions?
Congratulations on your 1 year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to
There's-
petition to keep the rookie card.
First-year leaders get what they call issued from the superintendent a rookie card.
Oh,
They can play the rookie card anytime they want. In just a few short weeks, no more rookie card.
You know, I think that document was lost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so limited swipes.
Apparently, they've all tried to negotiate
Yeah,
extension of the rookie card.
I would like to ask the board for an extension on my rookie card.
officially. Up with,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you. All right, next on the agenda are board reports. First up is Masiko.
Pretty run-of-the-mill meeting back in May, working on the budget for next year, budgeting for a special ed district like Masiko is different than a school district. So trying to predict usage and needs and how that relates to staffing and costs is a complicated thing, as Scott will attest to, I am sure. So that's, we talked through the first reading of our budget last month in May, and we'll see it again now tomorrow when we meet. We met in May at one of our care treatment sites in Litchfield Wings. It's a chemical health residential center where Masiko provides the education for that. It's enlightening to see the settings that many of our staff, especially in the care and treatment programs, work in because they are in the provider space. So for instance, at Wings, there's one classroom that is no bigger than the perimeter of these tables here, probably smaller than that. And there can be anywhere from, 10 to 20 students in there. They do have they schedule it for morning and afternoon, so they get some of their treatment time and then they have education and then they switch off. But they've tried to utilize some extra space in the cafeteria, which provides extra space, but also constraints because the wing staff is also utilizing the cafeteria time. So space and resources and just the things that we maybe take for granted in a typical classroom, chairs, tables, flexible seating arrangements, space for books, and other learning materials is at a premium in these spaces. So our staff, the Moseco staff really works to create really positive relationships with the care and treatment providers because we are utilizing their space. And students deserve to have an education, obviously, and need to be educated. And our staff really, the Moseco staff does an exceptional job of working within the confines of the physical space to create meaningful experiences for students and enriching experiences for students. So it's been really fun to see those sites. Yeah, we're working on the budget and staffing is pretty good this, I think, for the fall. Staffing's looking pretty, which is always a concern. Any questions?
Thank you for the report, Sarah. Next up, Right Tech.
Yes, that's me.
Yes, Ryan.
So we talked a little bit about enrollment numbers. The Right Tech enrollment is at 531, which is up 26 students from last month. It's in line generally with prior years, so they weren't concerned about that, but they'll continue to track and enroll. The Right Academy was at 88 students. That's steady, but a little bit down from prior years. So they're continuing to kind of monitor that and see what they can do to try to boost that enrollment. Obviously, that impacts their funding and their revenue. So they did receive a $19,000 donation for their welding program from Miller Burn Electric. So they were excited about that. They had two positions that they filled, a health science and nursing assistant instructor, and then a construction position. They do still have a couple of them open. Their special education, one of their special education positions is a very difficult position to fill. So they told me to put a plug in if anybody knows anybody looking for a special education teacher job, they would love them. So that is out there. And then you could just tell everybody was at like year end. It was like the 3rd of June. They had 2 days left. Lots of talk about their year-end festivities. They had a cookout. They went bowling one of the days, and then they were excited about some of their post-school year maintenance activities that they could begin. They're replacing some rooftop HVAC units. They're replacing some leaking spots in their roof. A couple other. They had a big paving thing. They redid their parking lot. So they had some pretty substantial LTFM dollars spent this year, but that was all planned and part of the thing. They were just excited to get it underway. I think that's mostly it. I mean, they had a couple of students competing in a health science competition, and then they got a couple of new printers and a laser shooting machine for the law enforcement group. I forget what that exactly does, but they're pretty jazzed about it. So
Laser beam.
yeah, some kind of laser beam for shooting range work of sorts for their law enforcement folks. So other than that, it was pretty standard, and it was also very quick because you could tell people were 2 days away from checking out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks, Ryan. Moving on to, there is no old business, so next up, new business. First item under new business is to approve the 2026-2027 budget.
So per statute, we do have to approve the budget for next year, the original budget. So we did get this put together. We did work session, the preliminary budget last month at the May work session. It's pretty much stayed the same. We did get, if you look at Fund 4 Community Service, they're still looking very, very healthy and continuing to grow their fund balance there. Food service, their fund balance is still a little bit high, but she's looking at buying more equipment this upcoming year. They've got some ovens that need to be replaced at the elementary school and then something at the high school. So I'm hoping that we'll even spend that down a little bit more because we really can only have 3 months of expenditures in our fund balance for Fund 2. So if it is too high, we have to put together a plan and explain how we're going to get it down within 2 years. Our unassigned fund balance took a little bit of a hit. It's a little higher, or the deficit's a little higher than it was originally. I did increase our some state aid that's going to come in for unemployment. We did find out from the legislature, they think we have enough money coming in to cover this summer still. So I did budget an extra 50,000 for that. Just with some little extra expenditures that we saw coming in on some contractual type things and just some little miscellaneous things. I did increase some expense budgets a little bit more as well. And I was one of those that'll be staying on a little bit. So I did put in some funds for that as well. So any questions?
Where does our fund balance sit?
At the end of this year, it's still going to be at 13%. So what I did
Next year
within,
too?
at the end of next year,
Yeah,
yep.
okay.
So this year, I still think we're going to be around 15%. I think next year we're going to be at 13, but what I increased the revenue, it helped offset some of the expense increases I had to put in. So I still think you'll be at 13% and hopefully a little bit more, but you just never know. But you're getting very close to that 12. You'll be below 12 the following year if something doesn't change.
What happens to the food service? What does MDE do? If you
So you
sit
just,
down?
so you're gonna have to buy, whether you, you're gonna do one-time expenditures. You're not gonna put a lot into something where it's ongoing, because then you're gonna, but if they stop with free meals, you'll see that decrease really quick.
Yeah.
So it's because of the free meals and the extra we're getting from the state. We wouldn't be getting that much if the parents were paying for the meals, so that's what's grown our fund balance.
It's like we need a van to bring the food service stuff to community ed, that community ed can then also utilize when needed for their shuttle running. I mean,
From
Three, here we go.
Yeah.
solving problems here. I mean,
Yeah.
Freezers and
Yep.
stock up on readers.
There you go.
Closing in like 5 days.
This is about as.
Oh,
busy as
he's
a guy can
closing?
be.
yeah, end of the month.
Oh, I didn't know
July.
that Reader Meat Market.
Oh.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Oh my God, this guy's out of here. He doesn't even know readers.
Wow.
Yes.
If you like.
Literally, I need somewhere to
Bring
put.
that down a little bit.
Well, there you go.
We say,
Yeah, one of those in the cafeteria for sure.
Yes, I know
Oh,
it.
I didn't know that.
Good idea. We could spend money. Yes.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Mary? All right, do we have a motion to approve the FY27 budget?
So moved.
Jim, second by Corey. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Is there a roll call vote, or am I looking at something?
Oh, that's the next one.
That's the
The next, you're a little early.
Oh, no, you
It's on
said
the
it
last
earlier. I was on the last one. I didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
A little late for that.
All right, approval. The next item is the approval of the FY28 LTFM 10-year plan resolution.
all right, thank you, board. You'll probably recall Mary presented this at the work session last month, so went over this. So this again is an annual requirement that we have to do. It has to be sent into the department by the end of July. We get this done in June, so nothing has changed on that. As part of the data loss, we got to recreate some of these things, so that was positive. But inside of here, you'll just see the resolution that's included, and that along with another form that Matt signs goes to the department that we'll send off in the next few weeks.
Any questions on what Scott presented for LTFM? All right, if not, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
First Brian, second Jess. Any discussion? If not, this is a roll call vote.
Board Member Marilla,
Aye.
Board Member Deppa. Aye. Board Member Roser,
Aye.
Board Member Baker.
Aye.
Board Member Gerke.
Aye.
Board Member Schost, and Board Member Black.
Motion carries to approve the 10-year LTFM plan resolution. Next up is milk and bread, the coveted vote of every year.
All right, perfect. This was something that didn't come to the board during the work session. It's just kind of due to timing and when we were getting things in. But we did receive 2 quotes on the bread. We won't go in depth on any of them, but the recommended action is for Panagold Baking Company for us to go with them for FY27 school year due to their overall pricing and products that meet the dietary guidelines. So this is something that we worked with Mel on to make sure that it was in need with what she felt the program needed. And obviously she does a great job on that. So we'd be recommending Panagold for that. And
Is that right? Is it?
Tell us who the other bread company.
that's why I was smiling, because I've already been warned about this. We received quotes from Bimbo Bakeries and then from Panagold Baking Company.
Never choose Bimbo, and I feel that's just not.
They're all just different.
No, we have had Bimbo in the past, lately.
Oh, you even got Mary to say it, gee.
Not lately,
Complete
because
night.
what they provide is doesn't meet our requirements. They don't have the right sizes, or they don't meet the dietary requirements, so we aren't able to use them.
Who doesn't?
So,
Okay.
you, Ryan.
Every year you guys turn into 12-year-olds all over again.
Started doing this because I was warned of this.
It's most.
It wouldn't matter if it was you or Mary. We'd make
know.
you say like 5.
Absolutely. All right, so now we'll go to the dairy products. We only had one on this, so it was Kemp's, and so we would recommend Kemp's as the escalating quote for the 26-27 school year. Any questions?
Any? Got mine out.
I don't have a better milk supplier with a cool name, so.
All right. If there aren't any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
First by,
Second.
second by Brian. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries to approve Panagold and Kemp's for the milk and bread vendors for the next year. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the 2026-2027 student handbooks for the elementary, intermediate, and high school. These handbooks were brought forward in work session last month.
Covered all the updates and changes. Everything's the same from what was presented by.
Questions or comments related to the handbooks? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the three. Thank you, Jess, for the first. We have a second. Second by Sarah. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to approve the three handbooks. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the resolution relating to the election of school board members and calling the school district general election. We talked about this during work session. There are 4 positions up, and the dates are, Corey, the 14th through the 28th.
You got that in your calendar.
No.
$2,
And $2 of your own money.
unless you think so, the personal.
Do we have any just conversation? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Thank you, Corey. A second.
Second.
Second by Ryan. Any discussion? If not, this is a roll call vote.
Board Member Black.
Aye.
Board Member Roser.
Aye.
Board Member Deppa. Board Member Baker. Board Member Gerke. Board Member Schaus.
Aye.
And Board Member Morella.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve the resolution related to the election of school board members and calling the general election. Next item on the agenda is to approve the resolution certifying the population estimate for the 2025 payable 2026 levy of Independent School District 879.
This is something I didn't bring, it came up close to the beginning of creating the agenda, but we do this every year. This drives some revenue for community ed. So there's a small community ed, but we have to do a population census piece. So we get the latest update from county and state, I believe. And that's what this is, and it does require a board approval before the end of the fiscal year.
Matt?
Can you give us that estimate?
What, 13,000?
768.
768.
Thank you. That's like Franklin Township and Delano.
All the discs.
All the district. So it's
Right.
Loretto, Corcoran, Franklin Township, Delano.
Rolling Hills Road.
All right.
It is Rolling Hills Road too, north of 55.
Totally campaigned in Loretto. But
All right, any other conversation related to the resolution certifying population estimate? If not, I'll entertain a motion. For a
So moved. Second.
motion by Baker, second by Ryan. Any discussion? All the,
Can
oops,
This actually should say 26, payable 27.
okay.
Nope.
All right, so can we change the motion on that? Right, how do we do that exactly?
Sorry, I just,
So that's okay. Just restate we'll entertain restating the motion to be the population estimate for 2026, payable 2027, levy of independent school district. Do we have a motion to approve that revised resolution? Sarah?
Second.
Ryan? Any discussion? All those in favor? Oh, sorry, roll call vote. Jeez, this is going off the rails.
All right, Board Member Gerke. Board Member Baker. Board Member Roser.
Aye.
Board Member Deppa. Board Member Schaus. Board Member Moraila. Board Member Black.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Last item is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Jess. Do we have a second? Second by Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Jess was the only board member that was not a victim of the sun.
I was like,
You're-
no.